cat in the wall, eh? Okay, now you're talking my language.
You have a drunk Bailey's from a shoe?
All right, welcome into the View from C-Deck, boys and girls, and I think we may set a new record this week for the least amount of complaining we could possibly do, because Ohio State thrashed Grambling in the game this past weekend, and we'll talk about that. We're going to recap it. And here with my man, the Direwolf. Say hi, Direwolf.
How's it going, everybody?
And then we're going to preview OU, probably spend a little more time on that, but I guess there's a lot to talk about as we go 70-0 against Grambling. Julian saying almost pitches a perfect game, but as I was saying to you beforehand, it was like on the interception he throws, it's the guy with the perfect game, and he's got an 0-2 count, and then for some reason he throws a meatball like right down the pipe, 93, and it gets just launched out of the building. You're like, what the heck was that? Why did you even do that? But not much to complain about. For once, the starters do come out of the game, and it's right at the start of the second half, so we get to see everybody from day. Our usual complaint about these games. Tell me, what stood out to you, I guess, on Saturday of a lot of good performances?
I was shocked that they didn't come out in the second half for that first drive, but I was at a party, so I wasn't my usual self watching every single detail. I missed there's a couple of things I can't remember clearly, but the very beginning of the second half, didn't we get either a quick score on defense or something happened to the offense? Yes. Wasn't on the field right away for a little while.
Pettijohn's touchdown was right
out. Yeah. So then after that, it was like, I felt less surprised that they didn't come out, but no, overall it was nice seeing, like, Jeremiah against Texas last year, and even in Notre Dame, except for the last catch, he didn't really do a whole lot. And then Texas this year, he didn't do. He had those 2 drops, so it was nice to see. Oh, he's still a freak, even though it's Grambling. And then playing all the depth. I love seeing the freshman. Bo Jackson is what popped off the page to me. I think he should get some more playing time, but we'll see. I'm sure that he's going to be hearing that a lot, I feel like. So, and maybe OU is the game for him to actually try it out, because it's not like a huge test, but they're decent.
Yeah. 9 different Buckeyes scored touchdowns in this game. 8 guys on offense, and then Riley Pettijohn on defense getting it in. You're right. The freshmen, you saw a lot of them after only seeing 3 guys play for like a total like 12 snaps in the Texas game. Julian saying 18. Let's headline there: 18 for 19 for 306, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. So the ball never hit the ground while he was in the game in the first half, which is insane. And they weren't, like we were talking about earlier, they weren't easy ones. There wasn't a bunch of bubble screens and stuff. They were 87-yard bomb to Jeremiah, the throw to Kasmerick, if Kasmerick becomes a receiving threat like that over the middle with how good of a blocker he is, and that's what you're playing him for, look out. Especially if we get Max Clare finally going. These 2 tight end sets are going to be deadly. And then Carnell Tate with another circus grab, back-to-back games. He's showing me up. I said he wasn't a first-round talent in the preseason snap. I said he's more like a second-round receiver. He looks like a first-round receiver right now.
Yeah, I thought of that too. I'm thinking, man, we're going to continue this streak of first-round wide receiver picks, because JJ is going to be after following year. But yeah, Tate, that touchdown was disgusting. Like, if you didn't know who had what jersey number it was, it seemed like something Jeremiah would be doing, not him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like you said, Bo Jackson looks explosive. He might be the best pure runner. Now, there's more to playing running back than just running the football, though. And that's usually where the freshmen, pass protection, knowing the playbook as a whole. They say he could, they said Ryan Day said he could hold his own as a receiver, though. Like, I feel like you have to start getting this guy on the field more the way, Donaldson is fine. But he's slow. Like, he got in the open field once, and I'm like, oh, there's no top end speed there. And Peoples still looks, 8 for 59, not a bad day. Still didn't look great, though, against a porous defense like that. And Bo Jackson, but Bo Jackson's played against their backups too. We had 24 guys make a tackle in this game, which is nuts. They had like 34. They played a lot of guys also. Because when are they going to get that experience in Ohio Stadium?
Oh, yeah. For both sides, you're right. That's a great experience for some of those guys are going to be talking about this game for the rest of their lives, and they got smoked. But it was still a great experience. I mean, the crowd, I didn't even get to see that, but I heard their band was great too. That was the talk of the town going into it.
It was. They showed it at halftime, and it was they did some great stuff too. It's band versus band was a great matchup, not like on the field. Defensively, dude, Matt Patricia, he is dialing up some nastiness. And I was watching the Bills Ravens game, and it looks like our defense. Like the Bills have like 7 guys at the line of scrimmage, almost all of them standing up, like every play. And that's what we're doing. It's an NFL defense. And these college quarterbacks, like maybe that is the way we thought we figured out last year with Caleb playing basically like a shallow center field safety position. That's how you mess up the timing on these RPOs. This really, I mean, once you mess up the timing on an RPO, it really gets screwed up. But maybe it is just put all these guys there and there's no read to make. You can't react to a guy you don't know if he's coming on a blitz or not.
I mean, that's what happened with Downs' interception. He confused the hell out of the quarterback. Like he didn't even know he was expecting him to rush and took him out of his mind, basically, like he's not a threat. And then all of a sudden he threw it right to him.
What I love more, that was a great play. And that's like the opposite of what happened with Reese. He was in the same spot Reese was when he made the sack against Arch Manning, kind of over the guard. Reese faked like he was dropping and then blitzed.
Yep.
This time he almost faked like he was blitzing and then dropped Caleb Downs and it throws it right to him. It happens. I do it all the time in the video game. I throw it right to the guys when they drop like that. But one I liked even more is when he brought the corner blitz with Jermaine Matthews. Do you remember this play? Were you available?
Is that when he missed? When Matthews missed?
Yeah, he missed. Like it didn't end up working, but he has everybody at the line of scrimmage. Caleb Downs screams out to the flats from the line of scrimmage. So he's taken over where Jermaine came from. And Jermaine's just flying and like nobody even touches him. And it's just such a hard thing to read because it's disguised so well. I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming either. Like he's got me guessing he's got me guessing all the time about who's coming, who's not. These quarterbacks' heads have to be spinning. And it'll be much more important to do that this week as we play OU.
Yeah. And I just remember Matthews like really frustrated with himself because he had a clear sack, but that quarterback was actually a little bit mobile. So I don't know. It's that sort of thing. It's almost like a layup, and it's easy to miss a layup every once in a while when everybody's looking at you.
Especially if you're not used to, if you're going full speed and not used to being in that position. Also, like you said, I think both freshman linebackers looked awesome. Alford and Pettijohn. Obviously, Pettijohn gets the headlines: forced fumble recovery for a touchdown, and he breaks up a pass on third down. Like the trifecta there.
One of his best plays, I thought. The guy was like my size, I think, the running back, but he just trucked that dude. He like picked him up and just sat him on his back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was on the forced fumble. That was because he put his head through the ball.
Yeah.
That was a great play. Zion Grady gets a sack too, another true freshman. Caden McDonald's forced the fumble that Pettijohn took. Good performances all around. Like quiet games from some of the start. But you needed to get some stats. Caleb Down gets that pick. Start getting their stats built up for that Thorpe Award, baby. It's a great stat stuffing game. There's nothing to complain about. Everybody gets in. Nobody gets hurt. 70. We eat the shutout because they also missed. Like they had an FCS kicker too, apparently, because that was a terrible kick.
That is one thing that we have not done yet, which could bite us in the ass later. Is we haven't even attempted a field goal yet. I want to try one. It would have been nice to try one in that Grambling game. I think it was like on the 10-yard line. Was it 4th and 1, or was it? Did it never get
to the end of the game? I thought about that too, but then I'm like, man, these are both the one you're talking to. It's so close that it's. We are doing extra points, so we are kicking those. So I'm like, it's not that different. So it's not really a test. It's not really testing anything to kick it in those situations. Like we need it to be like a legitimate, like long field goal that they can actually block because it's going to be low or stuff like that. To get you're looking for that.
That's a good point. That is when I was thinking, like, why do we need a touchdown? We need to practice a field goal. We haven't tried one yet, but it's basically a PAT at that point.
Yeah, that's out. It wouldn't gain anything. And we had the backup kicker for the last 4 PATs too, in case you didn't notice that.
I did. notice. No.
This week, though, could be a little different because the Bobcats roll into town. Little mascot on mascot violence has turned this into a rivalry, or not really, over the years. It's a rivalry. I feel like to OU people a little bit because they like making fun of us for how seriously we take football, and then they take this game really seriously but until it's not close. If it's not close, then it's we don't take it serious. But if it's close, they'll be all into it. I've been around them. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, I mean, they probably should have beat Rutgers, and then they'd be 2-0 right now, beating two Power 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously wouldn't be ranked, but we'd be looking at them. I mean, we should be taking them serious, and I think Day will be, hopefully. Anyway, like this isn't Grambling. You can't just waltz in here, and Jeremiah's not going to be wide open on an 87-yard route in this game. Hopefully.
He might be. I don't think they had a good defensive performance against West Virginia, but I don't think they're a particularly good defense, to be honest, because against Rutgers was moving the ball up and down the field on them, especially the first half. Second half, they played better. But what scares me more is their offense and their quarterback. Navarro, it all starts with him. Everything's centered around him. Ran for over 1,000 yards last year. Already leads the team in rushing this year, 180 yards. Is throwing, though, for 486 yards first two games. So he's throwing very effectively. He's running very effectively. They should have blown out West Virginia, actually. They outgained them by 180 yards. They threw 3 picks in the second half, though. That's the one thing about Navarro. He is prone to throwing picks, and that's probably where the game's going to get out of hand for them because I think they'll turn it over some. But I think they'll be able. I think this is a good test for this new defense to see what they can do against an offense that's played 2 P5 or P4 teams, like you said, and gone for well over 400 yards in both games. Like I said, should have had way more than 17 points. They also missed a field goal. They have 3 interceptions and a missed field goal, and you have 429 yards offense and only 17 points. That's how that happens. and 2 failed fourth down conversions.
It's always nice getting a little bit of practice against a mobile quarterback because we're going to be facing somebody that's mobile later in the year. Scum at the very least is what I can think of. But in the playoffs, I'm sure there could be a team with a mobile quarterback, like a legit team. So it's nice to be prepared for that because sometimes you go through the whole season, you're like, I don't know how we're going to do against that. At least defenses in the past that we've had, it's been a worrisome thing in my head anyway. But a team like Ohio, like chances we're actually going to lose are like 1%, or you might even say 0. But it's nice that they're definitely a step up from Grambling. And I do want to see what they do with this scrambling quarterback. I mean, we could just completely shut him down, though. Compete the hell out of him.
I'd be surprised. I mean, we could force a lot of turnovers. I don't think he's good though. Like against Rutgers, he was making great decisions on when to run it and when not to, and when to throw it. And he was dotting them up, throwing the ball. Like he was throwing some very nice passes. He's capable, but it's when you have that much on your plate, it is easy to make mistakes at some point in the game. What I really like about it is what are we playing after the bye? We're playing Washington, who's a very similar quarterback there. And it's a game I'm a little bit worried about. I think it'll be closer than like Illinois. We'll talk about them in another podcast. We got to do some like total landscape stuff, but Navarro will give us a good look at what we can expect to see against high RPO offenses that rely on the quarterback run, because we're going to have to defend some of that at some point. Defensively too, like their run defense has actually been fairly stout, even though they gave a ton of yards to Rutgers overall, but they gave up 4 yards a carry, 147 yards on 37 carries, held West Virginia to 2.6 yards a carry. So our running game hasn't looked amazing in either game. Definitely not against Texas, and tougher to tell against Grambling because we were just passing the ball so well. We didn't really try to establish the run. That could be interesting if we can't get it going and they are able to hold on the ball by running their quarterback. Could keep it away from us. Could lose some time of possession battles. But their defense against the pass is not that good. And they haven't played anything like what we got coming at them on Saturday.
Oh, no. That's what I'm the most curious to see if, like, Donaldson, he's not going to blow the doors off like we talked about earlier. But if neither one of him or Peoples can get it going? Do they put Bo in there to light a spark?
Second half, Claret style.
Yeah, I mean, just why not? You're not in the back of Dave's mind. He would never admit this, but he knows we're not going to lose. So just give him a shot and see what happens. If he's popping it for 6, 7, 8 yards a carry, then give it to him. Keep it in the hot hand like last year. We had 2 stud backs, and sometimes Trey was the guy because he was on fire, and sometimes it was Q. And if neither one of the top 2 guys are giving it to you, then I feel like you got to give him a chance.
Yeah, and I mean he's the future too. Like he's probably the future. Peoples is not the. I mean he's probably the future too. Like Peoples only sophomore, and Isaiah West looked good too. To bring him up, like I'm like, man, this is the 3-star kid that went to the same high school as McCord and Marvin Harrison, and he impressed me for being a 3-star kid coming into Ohio State. Defensively against them, I guess what do you want to see overall from the offense and the defense? I mean, I want to see the passing game remain that tight, like keep opening it up a little bit, let Sayan wing it. And Sayan's just got to admit he made 2 mistakes. He had the bad pitch to Donaldson that was his fumble. The announcer tried to blame it on Donaldson. I was like, no, that ball didn't get there. Like it needed more steam on it. And then obviously the terrible mistake in the red zone there. There's one you can't do. You can't throw it late in the red zone. It'll be a pick.
Yeah, I just want to see a clean game on offense, and I liked how we spread it around. I mean, I don't know how many guys – you said 9 different scored, but I want to know how many players he threw to. That had to be double digits.
I think he threw to 7 himself, but we had over double digits catch balls in the game.
Yeah, so I want to see more of that. Keep the tight ends involved. Don't force it to JJ if you don't have to, because that's when the picks happen. But it would be nice to see another – super long touchdown by Smith him winning the Heisman's pretty much out the door after that Texas performance, I feel like. But the odds, I sent it to you and Jason, saying you gotta put just a couple of bucks on that right now. Plus 2,000. Come on. If we go undefeated in the regular season, he's gonna be in New York for sure.
I don't know who else is really gonna get it right now. I mean, there were a lot of really big blowouts this weekend. There were a lot of teams that scored 70 or damn near it, just in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
See, Minnesota scored 166-0. Nebraska 168-0. Oregon won 69-3, and we won 70-0. Last week, USC scored 73 in a game. So there's a lot of guys that probably have some good stats right now. It's probably hard to differentiate.
But if you just watching him though, it was like you said, it wasn't just dinks and dunks, and all of those balls were like money, like right where you want them to be. That interception, of course, is the outlier, but he just looks pure and calm. The telltale sign will be Washington, because that's the first road test. It's all the way across the country. It's actually a decent team. So if he's cool, calm, collecting that game and has like 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, I think he's going to turn into a Heisman favorite at some point if he keeps this up.
I think he's probably the most accurate quarterback I've ever seen here, and that includes CJ Stroud. Like the ball just goes exactly where it needs to be every time, except when he was late on the throw. Other than that, he's thrown with great anticipation. Like he should have been, he had 3 drops in the Texas game, so he should have 5 incompletions in 2 games on 40 passes. Like
he should be at pushing 90% right now.
Yeah. What's that? So that's 7 out of 8. So that's 83% should be.
7 out of 87.5.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 87.5 should be right now. That's nuts. I don't care. When you going 18 for 19 against air is not that easy.
Seriously, I saw somebody talk about that on Twitter or something. It was like going 18 for 19 in practice is impressive. Like just throwing to your guys.
Yeah, you just go outside with your buddy and start throwing the ball around and see how many you complete. Just play catch.
Yeah.
18 for 19.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, defensively, it's more of the same. Can Patricia's defense confuse an actual talented offense that's trying to, like, Texas? This was probably a better offense in this sense. They're not going to hold back. because they're not planning on winning this game anyway. So they're not worried about if he does throw 3 picks, he throws 3 picks. They're not worried about it. They're going to go for it. And Texas was not trying to do that. So this will probably be like just a tougher, maybe the toughest test of the season, even though they don't have the talent that Texas does across the board. That QB, let's just see if they can keep going. I mean, I think with these, I think it's just with Reese and Downs and Styles running around back there that they can just kind of do anything and be anywhere at any time. It's just too hard. It's so hard to figure out. And they're so good athletes that if you do catch them, they're still going to limit the play.
And then plus you got Matthews and Iggy, and I mean the whole back end really. Everything except for the D line is dominant on our defense, and the D line I think they can get there. But that
was a tough game for them. I saw they got somebody like, oh, I want some sacks. I'm like, they're throwing the screens, like they're throwing wide receiver screens like crazy, like nothing's down the field, so they're just getting the ball so fast you can't get a sack.
Yeah, I guess they just haven't popped off the page like the linebackers and the DBs have.
I think Caleb McDonald has, but other than that, yes, you're right. All right, we got to do the spread and everything. We didn't do that.
That's what I was about to say. What's your score prediction?
Okay, so the spread is 31.5 right now, and the over/under is 54.5. I like a high-scoring game here. I do, even though I think they could just move the ball and try and sap the clock like a lot of teams do against us, and we don't play like. But we went fast in that game. I think it was because we knew we were going to be pulling the starters early and just wanted to get some reps in. But it'd be interesting if we kept doing that. So I'll say the over is what I'm most confident in, and I'll say we'll take them down like 52-17. Like I think it's a pretty high scoring game. I think they get some points because their quarterback's good enough to get them down the field a little bit, get us.
I'm going to keep it lower. But cover the spread. I'm going to say 45-10. I do think they get in the end zone, but
you're right on the over under there.
Is it right?
Over 45.5. You're at 55. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't see them scoring 17, but who knows? If they do, I feel like it'll be a garbage touchdown late. But I wouldn't be shocked if they had 0 at halftime. Keep that first half scoreless streak going.
We both have the see. Do I have the cover there? I do. I do have the cover. Yeah, that's a number though. I don't know if I'd bet. When's the last time we covered the first 3 games? Like 2019, probably.
I don't even know because there's usually one, and it's usually the first game where we just don't look good, and a lot of times that spread's huge, so we don't hit it. I'd have to look back. I mean,
2019. We didn't even 2019 because we started off hot against FAU, and then we didn't end up really blowing them out. Like it was like 28-0 in the first quarter, and then we ended up winning like 45-24 or something like that. So I don't know if we've ever done it in a day.
The weird 2020 season could have because we only played 5 games.
I don't think we covered like early. There was one of those games early that was like closer than it should have been. I think Penn State, we only won by 10, and we were like pretty big favorites in that one.
Yeah.
But so we both see a cover though. We both see a lot of offensive fireworks. Should be a fun time in the shoe Saturday night. Last out of conference game, then bye comes up. So enjoy it. Then this stretch though, we actually play. I think OU's a bowl team for sure. We're probably about to play 6 straight bowl teams, at least. It'll definitely end at Purdue. They will not be a bowl team. But I think everybody else we got here is going to make a bowl game at least. I mean, most of them are favored to begin with. And who do we have else? Yeah, we go Ohio, Washington, Minnesota, at Illinois, at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's the one that's up in the air. They're 2-0 though right now. They got a pretty good shot of making it. If they can, that schedule is just ridiculous. Then Penn State, it's a nice little stretch we got going. We got 2 byes in there though, but it'll be time to actually. You're gonna need to bring it every week, or you could get caught.
A bye isn't necessarily a good thing for us.
No, it has not been in the past. But that's a discussion for the Washington week. All right, but for the Dire Wolf, I'm just Matt, and this is the View from C-Deck. Like, subscribe, comment, give us your score predictions. Tell us why Brutus should go back and just clothesline the hell out of that stupid Bobcat, and we will see you guys next time.
Hey, guys. Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.